Just a beautiful afternoon for football, Coach. They say summer is the time to live in Chicago. Well, that's extended into autumn as we are ready to roll under blue skies at Soldier Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. Really good stop there by the end in this 4-3 defense.
Yeah, not just pass rushers anymore, are they? Those guys can use their hands, control the point of attack, shed those blockers, and go get those ball carriers.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4. Push him back.
Mayfield to throw it. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Watch 54, watch 54. You ain't going no.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
Mayfield looks to throw. He's going deep for Brown. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on second down. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On third down, here's Bell. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful.
He's got a man
again, complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Under 10.
Now the Auburn product, Corey Grant, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though.
Hey, alert 33.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. He's got his tight end, Burton. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him to first. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the Vikings 40-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Regular. Hey, Foxtrot.
Hey, check Mike 57. Here we go.
57's the mic. Watch 57.
From the gun, Mayfield. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Sheldon Rankins abruptly ends that play with a sack.
But no, it takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
57's Mike 57.
Hey, alert. Hey, Haywood.
It's our field.
3rd and long for Mayfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Check 52. Hey, alert. Crunch. 61, matchbox lights.
Check. Showing it. Check 99.
Hurry.
Here comes to me, it's me.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great effort there, with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 in favor of the Bears. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be taken very short. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
At their own 29-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Hey, exit.
From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Hurry! Alert, alert! Alert, alert!
Hey, what's that? Check.
Hey, zoo!
Mike, 54.
1st down, Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Baker Mayfield sacked. The tackle made back at the 13.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check. Watch
out!
To throw, Mayfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Run.
Hey, check. Mike 57. Mike 57.
Bravo!
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. Bell. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now this is Le'Veon Bell with a reception. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
On 2nd down, Johnson. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
throwing on third down. Smith airing it out deep for Smith. And that's caught inside the 35. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That's a first down and then some, a 32-yard pickup. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Out of the gun, Smith. It's caught. It's Miller. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Mayfield, he's got Burton here. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Alert, alert. Alert, alert. Dudes. Shift, shift. Tighten up, tighten up. Topper. You got tight. You got tight right there. Check, 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 check. Real. 57. Hey, Echo. 57.
Third and short yardage. Mayfield. This one into the hands of Burton. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 36. And again this time to the tailback. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Harrison Smith on the safety blitz, able to get the sack.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Here we go, let's bring it.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He gets it to Brown, complete. And a big 32-yard play on third.
You had to figure they'd take a shot downfield on 3rd and long, so the old cliche came into mind right away for me. Who wants it more? You always hear about receivers, you hear about their hands, their moves, their speed. How about the positioning and the desire to go get that one out of the air?
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. He scored on the ground and through the air as the Bears push further out in front. Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Makes the score Bears 14, Vikings 0.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Going deep for Diggs. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Smith. And he's able to find Diggs. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
56, Mike, 56, right there.
A shotgun snap for Smith. Trying to lay one up deep. And that is caught. Oh, what a catch at the 5-yard line. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0 as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there, because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Smith operating from the gun. And a throw there going to be incomplete. So coming up empty here to start the 3rd quarter. Already 2 scores down. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I did notice, though, that the captain of the defense patted the quarterback on the helmet on his way out, pretty much letting him know, we know the pressure's on us. We're going to go out there and try and hold serve for you while you figure it out over here on the sidelines.
42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field.
And that's caught inside the 35. It's a gain of 35. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big, big gain.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
Kill. Real.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go, D. Big series.
Point it right. Go.
Here's Mayfield. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a short return to the 6-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete. It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Bell. And a gain of about 4 here moves this from the 6 up to the 10.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
64, weak. Hey. Hey. High 7. Ready.
Smith. He's got Smith here. And he is not going to get to the marker as they stop him short at the 14. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fielded at the 43. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Check Mike 54.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Mayfield now. Connecting with Burton here over the middle. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
180! Here we go, here we go!
Going to the air again with Mayfield. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
It's 4th down.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go!
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop, and they've been able to do that.
And he has gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Smith now from the gun, he'll throw. That's complete. It's Bell. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Now Smith.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that complete.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it, and his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll run on first down. Grant. This will go for 5 up to the 33. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 4.
Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4, Mike's 5-4.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Diggs with a good footwork. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Now a handoff here to his running back, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Ben Gideon in on the stop. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Mayfield, and that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Sponge. No. Shift. Slam. Check three. Hey, alert.
On 3rd and 1, here's Mayfield. This will be caught by Brown. The 20, 10, touchdown, Chicago. Antonio Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. As the Bears push further out in front. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The extra point up and good, and the lead is now 24. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be taken about the 12. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 30-yard line.
Let's go now.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
3, 2, 1, go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
The Vikings on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Now Smith. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big gain of 28 as the drive continues.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. A gain of 32 that time. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look for a late touchdown. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Smith, he's got it. So they convert the 2. That keeps their slim hopes alive as we're back to a 2-score game. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Bears hands team able to pounce on it and get the football. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And to give this time to the tailback. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
And he'll give it here to his running back. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Well, that's one of those mistakes. That's a fumble that when they get to the sidelines, I know you're mad, Coach, but look, we've still got this locked down. But that's not necessarily true, is it?
No, their hopes are slim, but you just hate to give them any hope. You could have sealed it right there.
Yeah, could have finished them off and taken away all hope, as we like to say.
Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. That's good for 28 yards. On 1st and 10, Smith. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Eddie Jackson picks it. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. And a short 3-yard pickup gets them up to the 15.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
At the 15-yard line.
So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of. But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Bears, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1.